opening the account, the customer told you that I will give this document after 2 or 3 days, but he does not give the document. In such a case, if you have opened the account, you do not close the account also. So here in such cases, normally no account should be opened if documents are not available. And if documents are not given and you have opened the account, then you cannot close the account also. That is the meaning of the fourth point. That is the meaning of the fourth point. So this is what we call the customer acceptance policy. Next, customers can be classified into the following risks. What are the various types of risks which are there? First point, low risk, as you can see. Then medium risk, high risk and higher risk. So how many categorizations are there? 4 categorizations. Low risk, medium risk, high risk and higher risk. Low risk customer. Who are the low risk customers? Low risk customers are those customers whose source of income is known. The bank knows the source of income for these particular category of people, category of customers. This also includes the weaker section of society, the poor people, where the amount of transaction is low and the balance is also low. This also includes the various government departments and other government bodies, other public sector undertakings, insurance companies and other financial bodies. So all these accounts are classified as low risk because the risk associated with these accounts are not there. There is not much risk associated with such accounts. Next, we are coming to medium risk. Medium risk means the risk associated with such accounts is higher than the low risk accounts. So here the risk is much more. The risk is more because the volume of transaction, the amount of transaction, this is also more. For example, accounts of NRIs, account of HNI, account of NGOs, account of trusts, all these are considered as medium risk account. So here the amount of transaction will be more, the volume of transaction also will be more. Next, we are coming to high risk account. High risk account are those type of accounts where the bank does not have any idea about the source of income of that person. The customer who has opened the account, what is his source of income? The bank doesn't have a clear idea about his source of income. This high risk customers are also the non-face-to-face customers. That means the customers who have opened their accounts without coming directly face-to-face with the bank officials. This happens mostly in the case of the various agents are there who open the accounts for the customers. Then these high risk customers are also customers who have a very dubious type of background. That means their background is very suspicious, or their background is not good, or in society they are not not considered as a good person. So such type of persons are also considered as high risk. And lastly, we are coming to higher risk. Higher risk persons are those persons who are considered as politically exposed person. PEP, politically exposed person. So who is a politically exposed person? These persons, they are holding certain very sensitive posts in foreign countries. These persons are Indians who are holding very sensitive posts in foreign countries. They could be senior government officials, they could be government officials of public sector undertakings, they could be politicians, they could be other type of government officials who are posted abroad and hold very sensitive posts. So these type of persons, these are categorized as politically exposed person, or PEP, and these customers are considered as the higher risk customer. Now, after the customer has been categorized as low risk, medium risk, high risk and high risk based on the profile of the customer, after that what is done is, for each category a limit is fixed. This is called the threshold limit. Threshold limit means above this, if any transaction happens above this limit, then immediately the system will throw a pop-up and it will caution that the threshold limit has been exceeded. For example, the low-risk customers, all low-risk customers are given a threshold limit of 10 lakhs. This is just an example. All low-risk customers are given a threshold limit of 10 lakhs. So any transaction where amount of 10 lakhs and above takes place, then automatically the system will give a caution notice. So we have to be careful, we have to ask the customer, what is this transaction about? What is the background of this transaction? All these things we can ask the customer. Similarly, for medium risk customer, the threshold limit will be slightly higher. For high risk customer, it will be something higher, and for higher risk, so it depends upon the category of risk where a threshold limit will be fixed. So this threshold limit is very important. We have to monitor all transactions which cross this threshold limit. Rohit from South Extension says, please repeat medium risk. Medium risk customers. Medium risk customers are those customers who are having a risk associated with their account which is above that of the lower risk customers. So here, in the case of medium risk customers, the volume of transaction as well as the amount of transaction is also higher. For example, in the case of NRI customers, in the case of HNI customers, in the case of trust, all these customers are considered as medium risk customers. Why it is considered as medium risk? Because the volume of transaction, the amount of transactions is much higher than that of the low risk customers. Gargi from Model Town says, to whom it is applicable? What is applicable? Please, I am not able to understand your question. To whom it is applicable? This KYC is applicable to all customers. KYC is applicable to all customers. Ankit from Borivali says, the limitations of risk is decided by whom? It is decided by the bank. The limitation is decided by the bank. Gargi from Model Town says, low risk. Low risk customers. See, as I told you, these are broad guidelines. These are broad guidelines. Now, it depends upon the particular type of customer. Low risk customer, that means the source of income is known. For example, a salaried customer. A person who is drawing regular salary, whose salary is credited into an account, I know his source of income. What is his source of income? Salary. So he is considered to be a low risk customer. Similarly, any government account, any account of some public sector company, public sector undertakings, or any financial institutions accounts, all these are considered as low risk because we know the profile of the party. That is why it is considered as low risk. Similarly, in the case of accounts of weaker section, accounts of poor people, where the transactions, the amount of transactions are very low. So such accounts are also considered as low risk. So categorizing, risk categorization is very essential. First, I have to get the profile. After getting the profile of the customer, I have to base the account, I have to categorize the account as per the risk. It could be low risk, medium risk, high risk, or higher risk. So CAP, Customer Acceptance Policy. Next we are coming to CIP, Customer Identification Process. So what is the Customer Identification Process? So as you can see, it is a set of processes approved by the board of a bank. A set of processes approved by the board of a bank stipulates documents to be obtained. This identification process will be, this board will approve certain documents which are to be obtained. sources information from public documents. Public documents are documents which are given by some public authority. Say for example, a councillor, municipal councillor, or the Gram Panchayat authority, someone. That is called a public document. Ascertains credentials of the prospective customer. Credential means the identity. Next is initiate steps for allotting unique customer identification code to the existing as well as new customers. Conducts periodical updation of the customer identification data, including photographs after account opening. That means periodic updation of customer identification has to be done, including obtaining photographs. A customer might have opened the account when he was 25 years old. Today he is 50 years old. So you have to give the latest photograph, otherwise how to update the records. So bank will update the records by taking the latest photograph from the customers. And last is carry out full-scale customer due diligence before account opening. Customer due diligence, CDD. Customer due diligence means taking due care before opening of an account. This is the meaning of customer due diligence. Diligence means due care. So the bank official has to take due care, has to take all the precautions before you accept the customer, accept the person as a customer of the bank. Once a person becomes a customer of the bank, then there are there are rights and obligations on the part of both the customer as well as the banker. So it is a legal contract, and various legalities are there in the relationship. So before you decide to accept a prospect as a customer of the bank, the customer due diligence has to be carried out. And what is this customer due diligence? Customer due diligence means you have to take the proper identity documents from the customer, the proper address proof documents from the customer, get the photograph and ask him about his background. What does he do? What is his income? What type of transactions will take place in the account? Whether these transactions will be in cash or whether it will be in check? What type of payments you will be making? Whether it will be in cash or it will be in check? What will be the total turnover in the account in 1 year? So these are the type of questions which you have to ask. So this process of accepting the customer, identifying the customer, and taking the profile of the customer, this entire process is called the customer due diligence, CDD. Alkesh from South Extension says, KYC are applicable for primary credit card